What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us, and welcome to week 6 of fantasy football. And I'm going to bring in now the host with the most and the most amazing question, as you can see on our screen, Mr. Improv Pete. Thanks for joining me, as usual.
Thank you for having me again, sir. Always a treat. Always a treat to talk football with you.
Thanks.
I do.
Should we
I do
start
want to
with your
get your.
question?
What is that? My question.
Should we start with your question?
Sure. Dodgers or Giants? Now, this is not a baseball podcast. I understand, but just a little quick introduction for other sports. Get it in the playoff picture. I would rather face San Francisco if I were the Atlanta Braves. Wouldn't you?
There you go. I think so, but they've been proving everybody wrong all season, so why stop that now?
That is very fair too.
I mean, would you want to face a team with Bueller, Urias, and Scherzer?
No. And that lineup, I mean, it's
Oh, we didn't even get to the Turners. Your favorite player, Justin Turner, my
and
boy
your
Trey
favorite
Turner.
Trey Turner.
That's right.
I hope I do think the Dodgers will win. In my thoughts, I think the Dodgers will win, and we will see Dodgers, Braves, and then I really hope that.
Hello, Daniel. By the way, I'm cutting Pete off.
Oh,
Thanks for stopping in.
what's up, sir? What's going on? We're getting to fantasy football. We will, but I think it's going to be
Allegedly.
Dodgers. Hopefully it better. I don't even care that it's Boston. I'll say it. I don't want to see fucking. I don't know. I don't know who I want. Anyway, let's get on to the business at hand, which is fantasy football. A lot of stuff happened last week. I had to cry. I am a big fan. I don't know if you know this, guys. I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson, and travesty hit our fields last week.
Uh,
He's out.
uh,
So I'm just saying, this week, I'm all in on Cousins. Is he a must start, though?
so I'm gonna pull this up. So is that who you picked up to replace him? I'm sorry, I'm
I had
looking
him.
at this.
So
You
he's
had
in my
Cousins?
fantasy, but I had him. And with the
Okay.
last week that he had, he was looking like some nice Kirk Cousins of yesteryear. Am I correct in that statement?
Uh, I don't 100% know what he did last week. I'm not gonna lie because I was gonna pick him up and I went against it, and I feel like he didn't kill it. What I do know is you choked last week and fell all the way to sixth. So I'm gonna just check. Yeah, his last 2 weeks he's got 11 and 14 fantasy points. The first 3 weeks he was 20 plus, 22, 25, 25.
Let's go Braves from Daniel. I appreciate you. You know where it's
So
at.
so I'm gonna go with is Kirk Cousins a must start in fantasy? Absolutely not.
Oh,
Are
we
you
have a
going to
question,
do it
Joe.
anyway? Oh, we got a question. I like it.
Kenny Gainwell or Ronald Moore this week, half PPR league.
That is an extremely tough question. I'm gonna give you props for that. Tampa's defense hasn't been great against the run, but Philly's shown outside of Hurts running the ball, no reason to run the ball. Miles Sanders isn't getting touches, so
Not at all.
I think, and I hope you saw that catch he made last week. I think Rondell Moore is the answer, but the numbers probably point towards playing Gainwell. And I don't know if what kind of league you're in, but
Well, he says half PPR.
no. But
Oh,
if he's in a very active league, as we talked about earlier, Herbert's starting for the Bears. Maybe he's there.
we have coming up second.
That's a good point too. I'm just gonna do a quick little into him. He's had two good weeks, one really good week. I just don't think I would trust Philly's offense enough. I'm trying to look at Miles Sanders while having this conversation. I just don't trust the running backs right this minute.
Well, we are touching about Tampa and Philly right now, so
Yeah, we
obviously,
just
as you're
are.
looking up, we could talk about tonight's Thursday night game, which is Tampa Bay versus the Eagles. And in a game that I swear I want the Eagles to massacre Tampa. But will they is the question. Looked a little bit shaky. And like you said, their defense haven't been there. But I have
Gainwell
a lot
is
riding on Philly today. Let me tell you.
Gainwell is out targeting Miles Sanders by 2 passes, but he has 7. He's got 14 catches on 21 targets, and Sanders has 16 on 19. So either way, it's not pretty. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. I think the safer play is play more.
Fuck Tampa. Fuck Tampa indeed, sir. Not up in here. We hate Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
New Orleans, where it's at.
Gronk is on Tampa.
Yeah, but
Last I
Gronk
checked,
ain't
so.
looking weak.
I mean, you could maybe. What about like a John Ross? Since the Giants are banged up, I think Shepard's back this week, but maybe somebody in that sense. I'm just trying to throw options out there.
I love it.
Trying to give our viewers, a little something.
That's why I figured you would like that little question thrown your way.
St. Brown on Detroit's been a hot commodity. Like I said, I don't know how active your league is. I'm just trying to throw some names out there. Give you a chance.
We have a comment?
Yeah, I don't know who she's talking about, but
neither way. But shout out to Girly for that one. All right, so let's get into this. Bucks, Eagles. Bucks are at home.
okay. Like I said, I was just throwing names out there, hoping to get lucky. Robbie Anderson, they don't use him. He's probably been the biggest bust this year. What about like a Dan Arnold at tight end? Possibly plugging him in for a week at flex.
We got McKisson and Robbie Anderson. He could flex.
Well, he's saying he's got other options.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying is I don't trust Robbie Anderson because they said they were going to use him more and didn't. So I'm just trying to throw more names like Dan Arnold out there, maybe just tight ends. But then again, there's a bunch of banged up tight ends. Yeah, that doesn't help. And you got another London game this week, so you'll get those guys on the bye the next week, which doesn't hurt too many people, except for James Robinson's.
All right.
Rondell Moore is my pick, and I'm going to stick with that. If there's none of those other guys you can pick up, I'm going to go with Moore. And then hopefully next week you can come back and tell me thank you for being right or F you for being wrong. Either way.
No, you're a safe bet. You're definitely a safe bet when it comes to fantasy. I would definitely go to you, and he steers you in the right direction. If he thinks that you should play more, then you're playing more.
I ended amazing cash last week, and obviously he's more trustworthy than AJ Green.
Yeah, I saw AJ Green on my bench, and I was like really debating because that's who I picked up in Booker because I have Booker in 2 weeks. Because you can fuck you, Barkley. We're good. Let's just put a pin in that run for a second.
No problem, Daniel. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
we appreciate people stopping and asking.
I want to get back to this question though. I think we're gonna go all over the place. It's gonna be a wonky little episode.
That's fine.
But I think, fuck it. So I want to talk to you. Let's address the main thing. Kirk Cousins, is he starting this week? Is he a must start this week? He is facing the Panthers. Now, I know what you're going to say. The Panthers have been looking great in the beginning of the season, and they have been. They were looking very nice. Sam was not the New York Sam we remember. He was delivering. But as of the last couple of weeks, the Panthers have slowly been just on the downtrend, and I feel it's going to continue, and it's going to continue by the hands of Kirk Cousins. because of what he did last week, and the fire is back in his eyes. So how do you not start Cousins in this matchup this week?
So you're excited about his 11 fantasy points, is what I'm hearing. You're right. He's the man. Play him. There's a reason why teams like you were in sixth place, sir. And it's because
my other leagues, I am in either first or second or third, I believe.
Because you have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Here, you had neither one of them. You had Russell Wilson. His fingers going in 9 different directions.
In your league?
Maybe, but
I think I'm sixth in the other one. But
yeah, the league where you picked up Kirk Cousins. My camera went off again. Love it.
Now you could just stare at that beautiful, beautiful J right there. Wow.
Love it. What is wrong with this thing? There's got to be a button or something I hit.
You might have. You got to check by the settings. But I do think, though, like, maybe you don't play him. I understand if you don't. But I thought it was an easy pick for me because he was looking good. My team was also battling for first. Whoever won that game was winning first. It was a high bar to set. So dropping to 6 in that league as I did, but I think Kirk Cousins is the answer here. It saves my waiver. It was able to get me Booker, which was the far superior pickup that I needed. To be fair, that was... Hold on, we lost Mr. JRush, so just give me 1 second.
6 quarterbacks.
Hold on. We lost you for quite some time there, sir.
Tragic. I was trying to get the camera to work.
I went on my rant about how do you not start Cousins.
I heard all your rants.
This is indeed
there's a whole bunch of quarterbacks you can pick up that are all better than Kirk Cousins. At this rate, Gino Smith's better than Kirk Cousins.
But what if? Exactly.
What if? I mean, I'm glad lower tier teams like you are picking up Kirk Cousins and playing him this week.
We look at that league right now. You telling me who we're looking at?
Who you're looking at? Who's better? I don't know. Carson Wentz against Houston, who actually showed up last week, unlike Kirk Cousins. Do we want a quarterback who got 23 fantasy points or one that got 11? You know, my math isn't great. You can stream quarterbacks like I do in my league. I picked up Taylor Heineke
so you're saying
in my league.
Play once against Houston.
Who is Houston? Can you name one defensive player on Houston? Go ahead, name J.J. Watt because he ain't on Houston.
He ain't on Houston anymore, that's for sure.
Exactly. So name me a defensive player on Houston, and I will tell you, I will let you play Kirk Cousins.
Maybe. How did he do last week?
Who? Carson Wentz? He had 23 fantasy points.
That's not bad.
Against Lamar Jackson.
So he might have a big game against Houston. That is very accurate.
No. Kirk Cousins is the man. I want you to, you're the captain of the Titanic, and Kirk Cousins is playing the music on that boat. And I want you and Kirk Cousins.
I want to tell you Kirk Cousins last week. Look at this. Performance 22, 25, 25, 11, 14.
Yep. Wow. God. So the 1 week he got 25, and then the last 2 weeks he got, 25, but he's a must start this week. You're right. I would play him.
Against Carolina that's falling apart? Absolutely.
Carolina that's falling apart. Yep, falling apart.
Just you wait. They're going to lose every game. Every game now.
We talking about Carolina or are we talking about your Saints? I'm unsure.
Listen, the Saints are not going to win this week, nor will they lose, because the beautiful Saints are on a bye week. Also, the Jets are on a bye week, I saw. Atlanta.
The Falcons. And come on, who's the other one?
The last one?
San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, San Fran. That was the 4. I was like, this is a very interesting bye week. But anyway, let's look at some of these games. So Rams, Giants, pretty sure the Rams are going to win. I'm just gonna go on a hunch.
Well, apparently Daniel Jones might be able to play coming back from concussion. How come when I do that the camera turns on? This drives me nuts.
Yeah, but that Rams team has been just fantastic. Oh,
Don't ope every time. I'm trying to get the camera to work. Carry the conversation. Yeah,
the
on a London game, Dolphins Jaguars. It's somewhat streamlined. I'm telling you, because as soon as I opened up the thing, the camera, it works.
that's interesting. We gotta take a look at that. So,
So
well, you figure that out. Okay, so we got the
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Dolphins
gonna
and the
stop.
Jags, and just what will suck more?
I'm gonna stop hitting start camera because every time I do, it mutes the mic, and that's what it takes me out. Anyway, that is. I know the Jaguars are big in the London scene, and their owner, the dad of the owner of the wrestling company, wants to possibly have like 4 games a year in London, which puts them at a big disadvantage. But that's kind of like their hometown team now, so yikes. Either way, you'll be proud of this. Tua's practicing. He may not play, but he's practicing.
He ain't gonna play.
I don't think he will either because they're gonna have a bye week after. So what's the point?
That's what
But
I'm saying. You
on
rest
the
him
bright
this
side
week.
is he's practicing.
That is true. That is a very bright side. But is it a bright side for the beautiful Lions versus the Bengals at home?
Why are we skipping the Packers game? You hate Aaron Rodgers that much that you drafted him in fantasy? You just skip his game?
Packers, Bears. Bears are home. The
Packers.
Packers are going to win. Over the last week alone, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams have both gotten me 60 points.
Yeah.
Dominant.
Oh.
Green Bay lost the first week to the Saints. Thank you very much. But since then, they have just been on part, on greatness. Look at Aaron Jones running the 4 touchdowns, I believe, back in week 2. Davante Adams have now been just dominating for fantasy. Even you got some love to good old Marquise Scatling over there, Randall Cobb. This team is a superpower right now. And I do not see the Bears taking them down.
So, would you start Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers? Is the question.
No, that would be.
You wouldn't.
Can I get Aaron? Do I have a choice between the two? Then obviously you're playing Aaron Rodgers. But if you don't have that luxury, you got to go with the next coming of great Kirk Cousins this week.
All right, I was just checking to see if you had the ball since you're so high on Kirk Cousins to bench Aaron Rodgers for him, because I'm 100% sure Kirk Cousins may be available in my league.
So my question is, hold on, you made me forget my question now. Yes, son of a bitch.
Oh, because you're distracted by Kirk Cousins.
Before we came on the show, we had an issue with a Bears running back.
Apparently, there's another Bears injury. Williams is going to be out this week, which, while we were food shopping,
because he is going to be on the COVID-19 list.
So that works for me, as I had preemptively picked up Khalil Herbert in our ESPN league.
Will he start over Ryan Nail?
I would hope so. He's more of a fullback. So if he gets to start over a guy who was actually running good last week, then the Bears are in deep doo-doo. But I picked him up. Somebody followed suit because I know damn well they've never heard of him before in their lifetime. But they picked him up anyway. So I think he's a strong play. Even though the Packers, according to the defensive rankings, when you look at fantasy teams, the Packers are mid-tier run defense. I think he's still a strong play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you can go to your next favorite game.
I
Apparently,
can. Oh, I can now. Okay. Lions versus
All right.
Bengals. Lions are home.
I I want the Lions to win so badly, just because they've had such bad luck the last couple weeks. I don't think they will, but it's a home game. I would love for them to just win it.
That's a fair assessment. I will agree with that one.
Drew Brees did text their coach saying that you guys are going in the right direction. Hang in there. They play tough for you, etc., etc. And that's coming from a future Hall of Famer saying that. So
Future
either
Hall of
he's
Famer,
lying
indeed.
or he's got some faith in the Lions.
You know who I have faith now in?
Oh, tell me.
The Colts quarterback Carson Wentz. Now, I was always not the biggest fan of him on Philly. He always got injured, during the playoffs and everything. And then they traded him away to the Colts. Let me tell you something. I think that's a brilliant career move. I am all in on this man this week in fantasy. You're sold with
But
Carson Wentz.
I heard Kirk Cousins is amazing though, from what I heard.
I cannot wait. I will bet you once right now here. Right
Do you
now in
know who
front of
I'm
all these
all in
people.
on? You want to know who I'm all in on? That Colts running back. He's pretty good. He had a big receiving touchdown last week. A very big receiving touchdown.
I think it was like 76 or
I
something.
believe 78 was the term. It could have been
It
72,
was
but I think
hella
it was
much.
78. Either way, it was a big touchdown. Facing a Texans team that they should be able to control the ball with, having one of the better young running backs in football. So maybe in that sense, maybe Wentz might not put up big numbers. But if I remember correctly, you're also very high on Michael Pittman. And I'm a little confused. Is Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball? Oh, wait, no, it's Carson Wentz who throws Michael Pittman the ball. So you love Michael Pittman, but you hate the quarterback. I don't understand the
How do
logic.
you not?
I
I've
want to
never
live in
had
your
stock
head
in
one day.
Carson Wentz, and if you tell me you have, come on.
I love Carson Wentz when they drafted him. They did him. They sort of did him dirty, and he did himself dirty, and it was just a bad situation. But anyway, all I'm saying is you're very high on one of the receivers, which
Would you
the
play
quarterback needs to get him
Aaron
the ball.
Rodgers? Would you play Tom Brady or Carson Wentz?
This week, God. I mean, I'm gonna play Tom Brady every week. But
Exactly.
you're over here. Oh, Kirk Cousins. So you could say, okay, well then why didn't you pick up Carson Wentz in your league when you're streaming quarterbacks? Well, guess what? Carson Wentz ain't there to pick up, so I can't play him. You have the option, and you're like, oh, Kirk Cousins just got 6 fantasy points on the season.
If
You
I
know,
had
but
if I had it for Rodgers, man,
but
I
he
would have
headbutts stuff, and gets brain damage, because he liked that and whatever else. I think that's Gus Fromm. But still, I think he headbutted something the one day too, and then he screams in interviews that you like that because he won one game in his career. Besides playing the Saints in the playoffs, but we won't get into that. But go ahead. I just wanted you to know about Kirk Cousins' background.
Thank you.
Do you like that?
I loved it every moment.
Okay. All right, because Kirk Cousins wanted to know if you like that.
You know what I love even more?
What's that?
It's when you have a pairing of a great quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and a top 3 wide receiver anywhere in Tyreek Hill. When you pair them together and you face a team like Washington, just points are coming your way. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, the only question I have with that is whose idea really was that? Let me know. Chat, let me know whose idea you thought that one was. When they were crying, oh, I've got like the 8th pick, and what could I do with that? This is the worst pick ever. Yeah? It's the only good team ever.
What team
Just
was that?
saying.
That was the Family League.
That's the Friends League, I believe. The Family League, we have Taylor. Because that's a keeper league, remember? This
Yeah.
is ESPN. You had like the 8th pick. And I was like, you could go Kelsey and Mahomes or Hill and Mahomes, and bam, what happened? And who dominates every week because Tyreek Hill puts up a buck 80 every other
That's
week.
fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. All right.
At least they got a little
But
bit
I'm
low.
just saying,
Because we
it's going to
skipped
be
past
it's
Antonio
gonna be
Brown,
great
which I
for.
predicted last week. So we had to go with that shout out. I do want Washington to put up some points. the Chiefs defense is not great. So I would like, even though I don't have him, Gibson to do some work. McLaurin, who I do have, do some work. Just to be respectable. Washington's not the team they were from last year,
Oh,
obviously. But they need to have some kind of showing.
all right. We got the Vikings.
On to the game of the week. Is this the game of the week?
Is it?
This is your game of the week because you love Kirk Cousins. You hate the Panthers. This has got to be the game of the week.
Gotta be. I hope fucking Kirk Cousins. That's why I want to play him. Fuck anything. I want to give the good mojo to Kirk Cousins that we are going to defeat Sam of New York because he's looking like a New York quarterback now, and they're gonna disbody the Panthers, which is going to be great because when the Eagles beat the Buccaneers and the Saints come rolling back in next week, we win. We take first. The NFC South is ours. But moving on, that's a but no, it should be honestly with the collapse of the Panthers defense, I like to say, and offense in every kind of sense. I think it's a good week to have Dalvin Cook if he's playing.
I got the alert saying that he's healthy, so I'm assuming he's playing.
Oh, look at that. If you got the alert that says you're healthy, you got to play some Dalvin Cook. I think it could be a big game for the Vikings. Yes, it's a close game on matchup, but
now this is the one I wanted to touch on. Christian McCaffrey is 50-50 to play this week. If you're a Christian McCaffrey owner, what are you doing? Even if he does play, if they're saying he's only 50-50 and going to be a game time decision, if Carolina comes out and says Christian McCaffrey's playing this week, are you playing him?
Now I'm going to ask you a critical question. I believe this game is in 4:00, or is this a 1:00 game?
Considering it's in Carolina, I'm going to assume it's a 1:00 game.
Right? I'm thinking the Chargers are probably no. Anyway, I was going to say if it's a 4:00, it's a little risky. It's 1:00. You're going to know before game time if you're playing them, and if you don't, and if you have to take them out, you are not going to have them regardless. So I'd have them up to the minute until I got that official notice. No, that Christian McCaffrey, I picked him number 1 overall because everybody did in every fucking league around the world. I'm playing the number 1 running back.
Well, what I'm saying is if he's playing, you're willing to risk playing him? He's 50-50 game time decision, so obviously he's not 100%. You're comfortable enough playing him?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the question.
Well, you wouldn't?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, if I had a capable backup. You know why I'm asking that? Because I'm playing him 3 times this week, so I hope he doesn't play. But
that's the dream, then.
I can't do anything about that. Whether he plays or he doesn't play, I can't control. I can control my lineup. Speaking of which, I did go 4-0 last week. Finally,
there you go. It's a great feeling, isn't it?
It is because the week before, I think I went like 1-3 or 0.
I think I've done 2 3-for-1s, 1 4-0, and then 1 1-3. I suck 1 week. I knew that. But getting back, so yeah, with McCaffrey, I mean, you still have to play him. I mean, if he even is going to take the field, even at fucking 50%, he's better than half the fucking running backs out there. There was a 70-point difference in the beginning of the year with McCaffrey. Before all the injuries, his projections in most leagues were 70 points above everybody else. You have to play McCaffrey.
Okay. With Kirk Cousins, obviously.
What?
That's settled.
That makes him throw. Again, another valuable asset to Kirk Cousins and why you should be a must start. They're going to be charging with McCaffrey, so he's throwing the ball.
Okay, well, in this league where I'm in second, the guy has put Christian McCaffrey in. He doesn't really have great options on the bench because he also had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
So let me ask you, what does his actual thing say?
The last 3 days, it's been Christian McCaffrey is 50-50 and it will be a game time decision. His note card says, because he practiced last week too and did not play. Says the McCaffrey situation has fluctuated wildly over the last 2 weeks, with things looking promising until they don't. This is yet another turn towards the unfortunate side of his fantasy prospects. Friday's practice reports will be big, and McCaffrey will probably be hit with a doubtful or questionable tag. But at this point, it's looking more and more likely that he will need a good Friday session to even be on the optimistic side of questionable. That is his note card.
See, that don't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
That sounds actually dog shit.
In my league, obviously, so Wednesdays I bowl with Matt, so we talk football, and he has McCaffrey, and he goes, McCaffrey practiced all last week and didn't play. And then that's when the 50-50 and game time decision came up. And then I watched Good Morning Football this morning, to get some insight, just to drop some couple dimes every now and then. And they said the same thing. They didn't talk about should you play him or not, but they just said, McCaffrey's going to be a game time decision, blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, I'm playing him 3 times, so I hope he doesn't play. But then again, if he's going to play and be ineffective, I'll take that too.
That is a fair assumption. But you know what I would take?
Well, besides Kirk Cousins? No.
Besides Kirk Cousins. Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. What a fantasy season they're doing for me.
Oh.
The surefire winners of the Ravens versus Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have looked great. And I mean, so has Austin Eckler gives me at least 15 points. And you know that Keenan Allen's good. He's got those big touchdowns. I think that if you're a San Diego Chargers fantasy player, you are definitely living the high life like I am. So I think without a shadow of doubt, the Chargers are going to spank the Ravens.
I expect this to be a big scoring game. And you, just like everyone else, leaves out the third party of the Chargers offense, really the fourth party because they're quarterback. He is the number 1 wide receiver in standard leagues. Standard half-point scoring leagues. Mike Williams is the number 1 receiver in Yahoo Fantasy Football. And he still gets ignored. I love Mike Williams. And you know what? He's the number 1 receiver, and he had a week where he got 1 fantasy point, and he is still number 1. So that tells you how dominant he's been. He had 16 targets last week. 16. Is he now Tyreek Hill? Why? On a team with Keenan Allen, he's getting 16 targets.
I gotta start playing this motherfucker.
But anyway, I'm just saying, this guy.
But high scoring game.
The number 1. I think so. I don't want to say I hope so because I don't really have anybody on the Ravens anymore. But you know what? If the Chargers are going to keep throwing the ball, I need the Ravens to stay in the game. So the Chargers can keep throwing the ball. So the 2 names you mentioned and my guy can keep going. If the Chargers blow them out, then that doesn't do anything for me, especially in a week where Deebo Samuel, who's my other wide receiver, has a bye. I need Mike Williams to show up. I mean, that's not really a concern to me about him showing up, but
you would think Chargers.
I would hope Chargers. I don't know. It's a coin flip on that game. The Ravens look great 1 minute and they don't the next. Oh, what, this one? Go ahead, because I'm leaning into this one.
Pound for pound, the best quarterback right now.
Kirk Cousins.
Kyler Murray.
Oh, it's not Kirk Cousins.
Undefeated are the Cardinals, the only undefeated team. And they just can't stop. Let me tell you something. Hopkins came out and said, y'all can't cover just with 1 person on me. That's how good this man is. He needs 2 people on him. The team is unstoppable. They're good or just keep dominating because the Browns ain't shit. What up? Counterpoint, sir.
Oh, God, I hate to bring the actual facts to the thing, so I'm just gonna let you live on that. Kyler Murray is the best quarterback ever, and whatever. Yahoo clearly doesn't agree. What is a fact is the Browns have 2 legit running backs. And I mean legit running backs. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. They both bring something different to the table. They both get it done. If one goes out, the other can fill in just fine. And in now's day and age where everybody's hurt, this is that, that is a huge commodity to have. And if you have a week where Baker's not getting it done, you can check down to one of the running backs who can get you down the field. They can obviously run the ball down the field. But having two legitimate running backs is going to put some stress on that Arizona defense.
That is a very valid and correct statement. I have no way to refute that evidence. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are fantastic. They both definitely do bring something, and it's not like the Browns really are hurting that much with Jarvis Landry out, but still a very formidable team. But I think the roller coaster that is the Arizona Cardinals is just chugging along, and they'll just keep chugging. And I think that the Cardinals stretch out and get the win by, I would say, at least 10.
The Cardinals need to score because, again, I've mentioned this before. The Browns can control the clock because, as I said, and everybody knows, they have the running backs. That's the easiest way to control the clock, and that keeps Kyler Murray off the field. So if they're not quick scoring, James Conner's an okay running back. Chase Edmonds is slightly better than average running back. So they're no Hunt and Chubb. So it's a lot harder for Arizona to milk the clock unless Kyler Murray is running every time. So you need their tight end Max Williams went on the IR with a nasty looking knee injury. So that's a weapon that Murray loses. I just think that I know that both teams have injuries. The Browns D is a little banged up. But I feel like the Browns could control the clock to make this game competitive. Can Baker Mayfield show up in the red zone? I think will be the bigger difference in that game. I do like the Cardinals to outright win the game, but I think the Browns.
You think it will be a hurdle?
The Browns have the offense to keep up with them. To the Browns quarterback. Can the Browns quarterback keep up with them? I guess is the real question, for that game.
And that's why the Cardinals are going to win. Moving on. They fell from so much grace. I'm talking about the Las Vegas Raiders versus the at-home Broncos in that wonderful stadium.
Well, obviously there's a lot going on with the Raiders. So now the question will be, will they just fall flat on their face because of all the distractions, or will they rally around their team? They decided they have 3 guys on their team. 2 are former coaches. One's never coached before. They said, let's make the guy who's never been a head coach before be the interim head coach. So I'm beyond confused at what logic that has and where the Raiders are going with this. So I don't know. The Broncos could probably win this game by 30 at this rate. But will the players rally and say, hey, we're a unit. Let's go out and play for us. Let's get it done.
Is Derek Carr that kind of quarterback that can bring that team together?
Oh, he certainly can rally the troops. You've seen that before. 4-win Raider teams where he's got them amped up for a game against Mahomes, stuff like that. So he certainly can rally the troops.
And that's what I'm saying. This is not the Raiders from years ago. These are the Raiders of today. And last year, if I recall, they had a pretty good damn record. I think they were, 10 and I think they definitely got double digits win. It was like 10 or 11 wins, I want to say. I think that they can definitely be brought back, and Derek Carr is the man to lead the troops into battle. And I think it's a good test to go against the Broncos because the Broncos haven't been looking too shabby either. I think this is definitely a big game for who wants to be a player and wants to look. I know it's early, but who's looking in that, playing good to maybe make a wild card chase. You may not win your respective division, but we might be the next best team. So I feel like this game definitely amplifies that is what I'm seeing down. Can the Raiders turn their shit around and pick up and Derek Carr lead them to the promised land, or does the Broncos just say no, not up in our home, not up in here?
Well, it is a division battle, and that's a lot of what matters. Is winning those division games. So this is a big game for either one of those teams. I believe they're both 3-2, so it's a big game right now. The only real flop that Denver had was a game that Teddy got hurt, if I remember correctly, when he had a concussion. Otherwise, he's been pretty good, and he's been a serviceable quarterback. He was good for the Vikings, had that horrific knee injury, came back, obviously got sabotaged in New York. Then he went on and he did his thing in New Orleans. He did his thing in Carolina. He's doing his thing again. So as long as he can stay healthy, he can keep them, in this Broncos team. The Broncos defense is legit. He can give them a shot to make the playoffs.
Do we see a big showing from Waller then?
You have to.
Is he the difference maker of this game? My vote is yes.
I will. I mean, if the Raiders are going to win the game, absolutely. I think more of the difference makers are all on the Broncos side for how the Broncos will win the game. Teddy's coming off a concussion, so don't let Teddy get hit hard in the head, etc. Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant need to show up, and if they do, Raiders got no shot. I don't think. Like I said, unless Carr can rally these troops, I don't see this being a pretty week for the Raiders.
Fair point. JRush, I've been feeling very patriotic lately.
Oh, that's a given.
And nothing more patriotic than a Cowboys-Patriots matchup.
Maybe, but here's what I just want to throw out there. So we open this stream up with fuck Tampa, fuck Tampa, fuck Tampa. You were, outside of my brother-in-law, who grew up there, the next biggest Patriots fanboy of all time. Brady and Gronk, yeah, rah, rah, rah. And now they're on Tampa, and you hate the guys. So how patriotic are you? I want to hear about this. If Tom Brady went to some other team who wasn't in your division, even though the Saints are not a lock to do anything this year, you would still love Tom Brady.
Okay, first of all, the Saints are going places. That's number one. Number two, I will paint you a picture by this explanation. The Cowboys are going to massacre the Patriots. If I would ever have a second team that I hold near and dear, it is good old Russell Wilson over in Seattle. But I feel like the Cowboys are – I actually had a conversation about this at work. I think pound for pound that the Cowboys are the best in that division, obviously. But, they're going to show why they could be a contender. And I feel like they're going to show the Patriots because the Patriots still don't know how to play those big games. I take you back to the return of Brady. They were looking good. They had the lead. They had him shaken. But at the end of the day, Brady outplayed him because he's the veteran, great GOAT that he is. And it will just happen. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott's going to be the guy to lead the troops down the fucking fiery beaches, but I'm saying to you is they have the weapons with Zeke and everything. And I don't think the Patriots team it's a newborn baby. It is a newborn baby, and we have to nurture it and feed it. And when you don't, Cowboys are going to come in and just massacre. And I think that's what's going to happen with the Cowboys-Patriots game.
So what you're telling me is Belichick is not the evil genius, and
I mean, how can you pick Cam Newton? How'd that work out for you, Bill?
I mean, better than who knows? Better than the Jets. Anyway.
I was going to say Jameis Winston, which we could touch on last week with the fucking interception and then the 70-yard touchdown, which just makes me say which fucking Jameis is appearing. Sometimes it's both. That
is mostly the facts. No, the Cowboys are easily the best team in that division. Giants are always hurt. Not that the Giants, I think, were that much of a threat anyway, but Giants always hurt. Washington, as we touched on earlier, took a huge step back. Maybe they need to settle things down, pick a team name, and rediscover who they are because they're not what they've been, last year. This guy makes a new account every week, which is moderately entertaining. Obviously, we know he's going to do the back end of his name. But anyway, moving along.
Steelers, Seahawks.
I am extremely interested in this game, which sounds weird. I want Gino Smith to play good. I'm not going to lie. Would he ever take Russell Wilson's job? Absolutely not. But he's a guy who's paid his dues now. He had obviously a bad situation in New York. But he's hung around, backed up Russell. He came in, played much better than Russell was playing in that game, kept him in the game. Now you get a full week of practice. Obviously still has playmakers on that team. Can he hold court in Pittsburgh with an all-over-the-place Steeler team? That's what I want to see. That's why I'm interested in this game.
Can't you with that wide receiving core with Lockett and Metcalf?
But that's
I
what
think
I'm saying.
those two are far superior receivers to a lot of big receivers out there. They are I would say top 25 both of them.
Of course they are.
How do you not look at
15.
Geno Smith and say, we have your back, look to us, we'll make those big plays? That's my thoughts.
Of course, they're both top 15 wide receivers. But now here's the point in question. Shouldn't Russell Wilson be better with those guys? Shouldn't he be like a top 5 quarterback having those weapons and a healthy Chris Carson? Why is he not better? And then, like you just said, now Geno Smith's got both those weapons. What happens realistically if Geno Smith goes on a Teddy Bridgewater-esque run when Drew Brees went down? Like I said, they'll never replace him. But what just happens if they go on a run like that? How does that look now? You gave Russell a contract, and now Geno Smith's putting up numbers. Can anybody in that system then do that? I mean, Russell's getting a little older, too. I'm not saying he's old, but he's getting older. So his mobility is going to be on the decline. Do they look to ship him off at some point and get a Russell, like an Aaron Rodgers situation where they got the young guy waiting in the wings? Is that going to be a thing coming up in Seattle, especially if they miss the playoffs?
No, I don't think so. I think with Pete Carroll over there with Russell Wilson, I think they have a wonderful dynamic. It was the same thing with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. They just have a good chemistry and dynamic together, and I think that will ride them through. I mean, Russell Wilson did get hurt last year too, I believe, and he has been getting banged up more recently, which is not the best thing. But at the end of the day, I still think that it's not too late for Russell Wilson to still be the Russell Wilson that we remember. Now, being said that, we have Geno Smith now sitting in the wings, as you said, shitty thing in New York. So now you come over to Seattle, and you're under Russell Wilson, which in his own right was fantastic when Geno Smith was a more active quarterback, let's say. So you're looking at potentially Geno Smith riding the Seahawks train for a good foreseeable weeks, because I believe he was the report was like 2 to 4 weeks or something. I saw on my Bleacher Report about Russell Wilson. But
I think I read somewhere where they said it could be up to 8.
Could be up to 8,
which is not what you want to hear. Yeah, it's more
what you can tell by the
Russell Wilson
is right there.
Russell Wilson is targeting a week 10 return, which is that they have a bye in between there, so he'd miss 4 games.
So now,
but it came out 4 to 8, so 5 game, is reasonable.
100%. But now, will Geno Smith do what good old Teddy did last year when he filled in for Drew Brees?
But now here's where the answer could become yes. They got Pittsburgh this week. Then they have the New Orleans Saints the next week.
Yeah, but we suck against shitty quarterbacks anyway.
But again, you have Marcus Lattimore. He can only stop one of the two wide receivers. So who's to say that the Seahawks can't look good in that game?
I
Then
agree.
on Halloween they have Jacksonville. So who's to say he's stopping that? And then, like I said, they have a bye week. As of right now, and it's just projections, Yahoo has him out to week 12, where they play. He'll come back to play Washington on Monday night. So he's targeting week 10. Yahoo has him out till week 12. So now you're somewhere between 5 and 7 weeks for him out.
Would you play Gino Smith over fucking Kirk Cousins?
He's and that's what kills me with Kirk Cousins is he's got weapons. Why isn't he good? Van Jefferson's good. Adam Thielen's good. Dalvin Cook's now back. He's good. Why Kirk Cousins only put up 11 and 14 fantasy points last 2 weeks? I mean, if the matchup was right, absolutely. I'd play everybody over Kirk Cousins. But that's a given. Play Matt Ryan over Kirk Cousins at this rate.
So it's definitely a big show for Geno Smith. I very excited for that game. I think that's one we'll actually fully on watch and not dabble around with. We'll definitely be on that game.
It's a tough one because you're like, great, is Lockett going to do his normal? Is Metcalf going to do his normal? I don't see why they can't. It's not like you're coming from Russell Wilson, to some guy who I don't even want to say was a sixth stringer in college because Tom Brady was, but you're coming off some guy who's a walk-on at a D3 college as your backup quarterback. You have Geno Smith, who was a good college quarterback, put in a bad NFL situation, never really got a chance after that.
Does he put up 20 points?
Yeah, I think so.
25 points.
Could be. I wouldn't shoot that down. I would say he'd be in that range, 20 to 25.
In the best possible week he could have, I would see him at best getting 28 points.
Okay, but as we stated, that's better than any week Kirk Cousins had.
That's on his best day, but I'm curious. I hope the kid does good. I like Seattle. You know that. I hope, do good so that way Russell Wilson can come in and win a Super Bowl, and that way he can stay in Seattle, which he will with Pete Carroll because they're a great team together.
I hate to break it to you, though. Pete Carroll's one of the older coaches in the league, so who knows how long Pete Carroll's going to be there for?
He's the oldest now, right? Yeah.
I think he is the oldest, so.
Isn't Andy Reid the oldest?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Pete Carroll. I'll look it up while you segue into the
final game with the Bills and Titans on Monday Night Football. We have the Titans at home, but we have the Bills. And the Bills, let me tell you something. That first drive last week from the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, simply perfection. The man is a great, great quarterback, and he is showing why they are easily the front runners for the AFC North. All right, what do we got here? We got some info over here. Hold on. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll is 69, turning 70 on September 15th.
So he's 70 already.
Belichick is
the second oldest.
68, turned 69 in April. Bruce Arian, I was going to say him is 60. Jesus, Lord Christ. So he's the oldest.
Yep. So like I said, you want a 75-year-old Pete Carroll coaching Russell Wilson at that point?
But show me when they've had a fucking below 500 season. They don't. The Seahawks always.
Yeah, great. A below 500 season.
So I don't see why they would mess that up.
We're not talking about the Jets, Giants, Bengals.
Drew Brees a long time ago. They didn't because they were a good team. They could have moved Brady and Belichick a long time ago. They didn't.
We're gonna go back because we started this podcast with baseball. Did you get the Bleacher Report this afternoon? The Cardinals let their manager go. The Cardinals, the team who made the playoffs, let their manager go. So whoop-de-doo that you weren't below 500. If you're not winning, you're not doing anything in sports. Great. You go 8-8 every year doesn't, John Gruden went 8-8 last year, and then sent out racial and homophobic emails, and he ain't coaching no more. He went 8-8. I mean, nobody was putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Bills are going to take this game.
Yeah. You know why the Bills are going to take this game? And this kills me because I have Derrick Henry. The Bills are in the tracked defensive categories, not the StatCast defensive categories. The Bills are top 2 in every category, and it's 1-1-1-2 for the major categories.
So do they stop King Henry?
They're going to stop him enough. Obviously I need him to put up numbers. Put up hopefully 20 plus points. I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't need the Bills going up 40-3 either. That's not going to help my cause, and that certainly could happen if Ryan Tannehill plays like he's been playing. I get it. They mostly been banged up. They're wide receivers, but
Ryan Tannehill, the Titans are in first. Terrible.
Yeah, but look at how bad that division is. Jacksonville. Whoop-de-doo.
I know Jacksonville, Texans, and Colts. I know the best team has one win,
and that's what we're going off of. Is that the Colts can easily win this division with Carson Wentz and Taylor. So when you're talking down to Carson Wentz, they might just win this division this year. The Texans, the Jaguars are both not competitive, so it's literally Titans versus Colts to win the division.
That's fair. That is fair. But then you come over to the good old Bills side, and you got the 2 and 3 Patriots, and then the 1 and 4s of the Jets and the Dolphins. So we discussed this before. The Cowboys are going to light up the Patriots. So the Bills really looking at that front runner also as well for the. So is this now just for who falls better in the seat?
Well, now there's multiple ways about this. So last year in the playoffs, the game was played in Kansas City. And Kansas City knocked off Buffalo. Now, Buffalo's already beaten Kansas City, so they own that tiebreaker. And Kansas City's lost a couple of games that they obviously shouldn't have lost. So the Bills hold all those
cards. They are in last place
there.
Right now.
Yeah, right now. Are you going to tell me come week 18 that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be in last place in the division?
Well, it would be a sight to see.
My point being is that it's going to be real hard for the Chiefs to pass the Bills, whether it's the 1 seed or not. So that means as if they had to play each other in the playoffs, the Bills would be at home. And that is a big advantage playing in that weather in Buffalo in January as opposed to, like 50 degrees in Arrowhead.
That is a fair assessment. I still would I don't think it's going to be a big scoring game. Honestly, I really don't. I think it would be like 17-15, and I'll give it to Bills. I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I feel like the defenses will hold, but I think there will be a couple of things, and it will be a 17-15 score, I feel.
So 17-15, does that mean we're benching Josh Allen then for Kirk Cousins nonetheless in that league? Because we do have Josh Allen. If they only scored 17 points, I'm pretty sure every quarterback in the league is going to do better than that. Would you like to change your predictions now on the Buffalo offense?
Buffalo 1,000.
Now I like it. All right, we can play Josh Allen now.
There we go. Thank you.
Perfect.
That was the weeks coming up for the NFL week 6. But tonight's game, Bucks versus Eagles. God, I really hope the Eagles win. Joey, any questions?
Well, McCaffrey was my big question, which you touched on earlier, is are you willing to play him? Then you flustered everybody with your love for Kirk Cousins.
There's still time. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, drop a comment below. Who should I play? I'll leave it up to you guys. I'll leave it all up to you guys for who I play.
You would have one backer. If you asked this person that question, 2 backers, because a certain someone else would back you just because. The other person who would tell you that you should play Kirk Cousins would be Gurley. because she loves Michigan State, and that's where Kirk Cousins went. So you'd have a second and a third backer on should you play Kirk Cousins. So in that sense, I
So the
see you
Kirk Cousins
lighting
of
up
the
that
way.
someone else will tell you to play Kirk Cousins. Wow, I'm looking good in that picture.
Yeah, right. You're looking so great. Anything else before we let these people go?
No, because these injuries need to play out. Is McCaffrey going to play, or is Adam Thielen going to be 85%? He was pretty useless last week. Granted, his quarterback's pretty useless, but anyway.
Well, you know how they'll know how they do this week, Joe?
How is that?
Well, they would come next Thursday, right here on our fantasy football little podcast video we do, and we find out all about what happened this coming up week. I mean, this is the first week you and me are watching all the footballs together, so we're both going to have something to say next week.
That is true.
So I think if that sounds good to you, if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, like the video, hit the little bell so you know exactly when we're going live. We're always on Twitch as well. Follow me over there at improv_Pete, Mr. JRush over on Twitter, right below, as am I. Leave comments if you have any questions. I want to give a shout out to Daniel for those questions. We appreciate you. And Joe, your face. I mean, I just love the J. I think we should that's going to be just the mantra now.
It seems like
another
Streamlab
thumbnail
wants
where it's
that.
just going to be me talking to nobody.
I like it. Obviously, that's how Streamlab wants it to be.
I think it's time for Little Caesars Pizza now.
It might be.
Thank you guys for watching. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Peace.